Pam Hupp certainly has a history of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And some people are wondering, is it just bad luck or something a lot more sinister? Russ Faria has been freed after being wrongly convicted of murdering his wife, Betsy. And now, prosecutors are suspicious that Hupp is the one who really killed her to collect on a $150,000 insurance policy. Then, a stunning piece of breaking news out of St. Louis this past August.
A female caller called 911 at approximately 12:08 p.m. to report that she had a male intruder in her house and that she had shot him. The caller was identified as Pamela Hupp.
Police find a note in the dead man's pocket that starts raising a lot of suspicions.
The handwritten note appeared to be instructions to kidnap Hupp, get Russ's money, and then kill Hupp in order to collect the rest of the $10,000.
The note seems to implicate Russ Faria, well known to police as the man wrongly convicted of murdering his wife Betsy, largely thanks to Pam Hupp's own testimony as the prosecution's star witness. As for the money mentioned in the note, it's surmised by prosecutors that must be the $150,000 Hupp received after Betsy had made her the beneficiary of her life insurance policy just days before she was killed.
She wanted to make it sound like Russ put a hit on her.
Cops go straight to Russ Faria.
The police questioned me about it, and I was just dumbfounded.
Thankfully, police aren't buying Hupp's story.
It seemed bizarre, almost too obvious.
Following an extensive investigation at approximately 11 a.m. this morning, Pamela Hupp was arrested for the charges of murder first degree and armed criminal action.
Prosecutors say they may seek the death penalty. And Russ Faria's attorney, Joe Schwartz, says setting up Russ was no spontaneous impulse.
Based on what I've been told, she'd been planning it for a while.
A plan she apparently started after learning the U.S. attorney was reviewing the Faria case and becoming afraid they would investigate what role she may have played in Betsy's murder. But as it turns out, if that is the case, Pam's ruse may have been all for nothing.
There is no evidence that law enforcement during that time was already looking at her in the case of Betsy Faria.
So in her state of paranoia, could possibly have plotted this murder to take heat off herself.
That's what the St. Charles County prosecutor says, yes.
Even more ironic, Hupp's alleged murder plot may actually lead to what she feared most, being looked at as Betsy's possible murderer.
What I can tell you is there's no doubt in my mind she was involved.
And now, since the alleged murder of Louis Gumpenberger, St. Louis County Police have decided to review the suspicious death of Hupp's mother, Shirley Newman, who died when she tumbled through a third-floor balcony railing at her retirement apartment in 2013.
I certainly think there's enough for an investigation.
Hupp was the last person to see her mother alive, and here she is talking about her mom to police just 4 months before that supposedly tragic accident.
I really hate to say it, wanted money. My mom's worth $500,000 that I get when she dies.
Well, there were bars removed. Tossed, pushed through. People don't fall over those balconies.
For her part, Pam Hupp has pleaded not guilty to the murder of Louis Gumpenberger. At the same time, just hours after her arrest for that shooting,
While in custody this morning, just before noon today, Pamela Hupp indicated that she needed to use the restroom. While inside, Pamela Hupp began stabbing herself on the wrist and in her neck with a ballpoint pen she had secreted on her person before entering.
But as this booking photo capturing her injuries shows, she has survived the suicide attempt to stand trial for the murder of Louis Gumpenberger, as well as possibly being investigated for Betsy Faria's murder and the death of her mother. Are you surprised by Pam Hupp's actions over the years?
I've been in a room with Pam Hupp many times. There's very little she could do to surprise me.
And the lesson of this whole horrible tangled tale of murder and treachery? So if you're close to Pam and you have an insurance policy,
Be careful.
run the other direction.
I would. I certainly would. I would avoid her like the plague.
The soap opera that is Pam Hupp's life returns to her courtroom next month. We'll for sure be there and bring you the very latest on the status of her trial right here on Crime Watch Daily.